connecting people, building communities, helping clients to build multi-generational wealth through real estate.
Today, we have the privilege of having Haghgoo with us. He's been an amazing resident in my community, serving everybody, not only in my community, but across the GTA, with anything that is related to the pest control. The name of their company is Pest, Be Gone, which is an amazing, by the way, branding, Shaw. So welcome. Now let's talk about some of the challenges we face as homeowners. How common are bedbug problems in households, in your opinion?
In the norm of households, they're not that common. They're more common in high rises. Usually when people get bed bugs, it's they actually been somewhere that has bed bugs and they've unknowingly brought them back, or somebody has come to their house, unknowingly brought it with them. Bed bugs are great hitchhikers. You sit there for a few minutes, they'll hop in your pocket, they'll climb under your collar. They've got a free ride to a new house. So they're really, really good hitchhikers when it comes to that. The issue is when they get into a high-rise building or even into a house, and if you don't do the proper treatment, they're going to spread very quickly, extremely quickly. And we've been in situations where we have to go in and tell people, you're going to have to get rid of your sofa. You're going to have to get rid of your mattress because it's no longer salvageable. It's reached that point that we can't salvage it. There's way too many eggs inside there. At that point, you're at a cost of replacing furniture. So if you do have bed bugs, ideally is to reach out to an exterminator, get them in there, get them to do the proper applications. There's many different applications. People basically judge it by cost, and you're going to get what you paid for. So the higher priced applications are going to be far more effective than lower priced applications. Okay, so you need to address bed bugs very quickly. Other than that, they are controllable. We have chemicals right now that we feel that within 5 years, we can eradicate all bed bugs if the chemical consistently works as it's supposed to, and as long as people are not abusing the chemical and allowing the bed bugs to build an immunity to it.
So, Shah, is it true that in Canada there are more bed bugs than, for example, in Europe?
No, that's not true. Bed bugs have been around. Bed bugs have been around as far as over 500,000 years. Bed bugs basically used to get carried by pigeons, by birds, bats. They hitch a ride with them. We have the same amount here as we have over there. In the city of Toronto, we've had a 5,000% increase since COVID started.
Wow.
We don't know how that happened because during COVID, nobody went out. People were supposed to have social distancing. Nobody went to any place, they were inside, but yet they increased 5,000% in the city of Toronto. And a part of that is that we're seeing is people not permitting us to come in and do a treatment. So if we have contracts with high rises, some people not letting us to come in to do the treatments, some people not even knowing what a bed bug looks like. Although they have lots of bites, they just assume they're getting mosquito bites. They assume they have a rash. They're not letting us to come in to do the treatment, and they will spread. They will spread from unit to unit through all the electrical conduits, the plumbing conduits, every kind of opening from one unit to another.
Just a question. My sister, one of my sisters lives in France. So every year that they come here, they had an incident when they actually went back home after their trip to Canada. Then there were bed bugs in their home. So they had to literally do a lot of steps to get rid of them. So now every time they come here, before they leave to the airport, we spray their luggage to make sure that at least if there is anything is protected. But, during the whole travel, actually, anything could be possible. Is that right?
Anywhere that you've been, whether, believe it or not, even if you go to a hospital, you're sitting on a chair, who's been sitting there before? I hate to say this, there is a certain amount of abuse that's done by the general public that we've encountered. So when we coming to do a treatment for bed bugs, I've seen people get a cab and go to the hospital to get checked out. And they will not comprehend the fact that you're carrying these bed bugs to you to another environment now, rather than just going outside, letting us do our application, coming inside, changing your clothes, putting it through the dryer. We give you a whole sheet of what you have to do to eliminate it. And instead of doing that, they opt on going somewhere else, which means now that innocent person that comes, whether it's a restaurant, whether it's the hospital, whether it's a cab, the risks are there now.
True. So what are the challenges you see in treating for bed bugs?
Is people just not letting us in. People not letting us in, having property management companies having issues with the property management can only deal with the home owners. Owners are renting out to tenants. There's a whole circle there that nobody can actually get on board. The courts are backed up. Landlords can't pursue the tenants that quickly. It's a challenge. And the other part of it is, of course, we have hoarders. We have situations where we go in and we can't even walk through there. You're dealing with just so much in one small area and billions of places for these guys to be hiding. So how do we exterminate them that easily? Those are the people that cause the issues. And a lot of it has to do with mental health, because most of these hoarders have mental health issues. It's not they're intentionally doing it. They have mental health issues.
So it's not just multi-residential units that this problem exists. It could be everywhere, in every household. So let's talk about cockroaches and what are the effective or ineffective way of treatment.
All you're doing yourself products on that one are totally ineffective.
I know.
To understand the cockroaches, you have to actually understand how they live. So the cockroach is actually a very interesting insect. It's one of the few insects that can mate on its own, and it has severe ramifications when it does that. It's also one that you can actually cut the head off a cockroach, and it will run around for another week. When it gets in an area of danger, it drops its egg. To protect its offsprings, it drops its eggs. So cockroaches are very interesting. The only way that's effective in eliminating them is either by bait, which is to give them a food. And we have a powder that we use, which when they walk over it, it literally tears out the whole stomach lining.
Wow.
And the other option, which is even more effective, is we do a fumigation. Now, all these are effective, but they're ineffective against the eggs. So the issue with the cockroach is if a male and a female cockroach, they mate, you're going to have a chance of about 60% to 40%. So 40% will be females, 60% will be males. When the cockroach mates on its own, it's 100% females. Wow. So it's 100% of those females are going to create eggs.
So what do you mean on their own? I don't understand.
They have the ability to actually create an egg and fertilize the egg on their own. Although they prefer to have a mate, they can do it on their own without having any interaction with the male cockroach. The ramifications is, like I said, that now they're creating 100% female eggs. They're all females because the male chromosome is just not there. So it creates only females. That's why they're so difficult to get rid of. The other issue with cockroaches, depending on the cultures people are from, some are very protective against them. They don't want to eliminate them. I've been places where they shoo them away like it's their little pet. Woman's working on a kitchen counter, cockroach is running, and she's just like pushing them away gently, like you would do with your child reaching up to a stove or a pet that's being a nuisance, and they're just shooing them away. They're not trying to kill them, nor are they trying to harm them. So it's a cultural thing. Some people accept them, and that creates another problem. Cockroaches have a tendency of going everywhere. And you get one cockroach in your pocket, you're going to come home with a pocket full of eggs.
I actually am so afraid of them. It's just the childhood experiences, That's really where it comes from. I'm afraid of them. I cannot even imagine somebody would pet them and would allow them to be on countertops. But, this definitely cultural differences. And with respect to cockroaches or even any other insects, when there are municipal work in a community, when they want to do the driveways, when they want to do the switch system, is that true that literally there could be more mice, more of all those insects coming to every household and giving us grief?
That is true in the mice. So the mice generally like to live outside in the summertime. That's where they have ample amount of food. So they like to root outside. When you dig up their habitat, they need somewhere to go. If you look at the habits of a mouse, the way it always runs along a wall. It doesn't like to be exposed out in an open area. So when it's outdoors, it'll run along shrubbery. It'll run along anything that's protecting one side of him. So he likes to be outside because he's going to get ample amount of food. They like to eat insects. They like to eat all kinds of bugs. They like to eat everything. When you take it apart, they're going to be inside. When they get inside, they get more comfortable because as humans, we have food in the house. And if they find out where the food is, that's where they're not going to go now. They're going to just stay in your house. They're going to be very comfortable, not want to go back out. So yes, that's very true. Every time there's excavation, we have that issue. Rats are the same. So City of Toronto right now, anywhere where there's a subway lines, we have issue with rats. We do have them under control. I mean, it doesn't make anyone's building filthy. We do have them under control. And all buildings do have a program in place to have companies come in to exterminate them. So that's already in play. But every time we excavate for a building, a highway, a bridge, a sidewalk even, we're disrupting their area. And that's when they are going to run to the closest area.
Thank you, Sean. A great explanation on the strategy and some of the challenges we all face and then how we need to sort them out.
Connecting people, building communities, helping clients to build multi-generational wealth through real estate.